So they really don't hate accountability when it's done in the right spirit. What they do hate is they hate feeling like you're controlling them. And so really, this is about messaging, it's about mindset, and the most important thing, it's about framing. You have to frame this in a what's in it for them attitude. And there's some really fun ways to do that. You know, too nice for sales doesn't really vibe with like, I'm taking all your leads because you suck. Like those two things have been kind of a challenge a little bit from a management perspective. And so, you know, they want to feel supported. They want to be surveilled, which is a fancy way of saying surveyed. You know, they do appreciate it when it's done in the right way. You can go to the next one. One of my agents was having some trouble with her sales. She wasn't meeting her income ability, or you know, she wasn't meeting her goals. She was blaming the leads. And so on a random day in the afternoon, it was 2 o'clock, I decided to pick up the phone and say, hey, how's prospecting going? And she was like, you know, just kind of having a day, so I'm cuddling with my cat. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You could hear it purring in the background. And my instinct in the moment was to be like, bro, like you should be calling leads right now. You told me you're almost about to be late on your rent and your credit card's you know, maxed out. What's going on? I didn't do that. I would say, oh, what part of the cat, does she like it when you scratch behind her ear or the belly? And she was like really talking a lot about it. Like, and we talked about it for maybe 4 to 5 minutes, right? I'm using what works with leads for my agents. I was building rapport with someone that I already knew. And one of the most powerful things you can do when you're talking to agents is allow them space to talk about themselves. So after what felt like an eternity talking about her cat, like it was really hard for me, I'll be honest with you. That was like, because first of all, no offense, I actually don't like cats very much. I'm a dog person just because they make me, and leadership, old school leadership is like, and I talk about this in my first book, like leadership is like, oh, I'm here, come with me, like do these things and so you can crush it like me. But servant leadership gets off the top of the mountain, comes alongside the person and walks up the mountain together, right? And so when you're talking about rolling out lead assignment, lead nudging and all these things, it's easy for us to sit in our ivory tower and say, do the things or I take the things, right? And the truth of the matter is they need more from us. And I alluded to it earlier. We fundamentally misunderstand that our value proposition to these agents are they can't do it without you. If they could, if I moved to the Cape, you and I would crush it for 90 days and I'd be like, bro, this was amazing, but I'm gonna go start my own thing now. Because that's how I am. I'm an entrepreneur. These people that are working for you, 90% of them don't have that streak, okay? They need structure. They need you to get involved. They need your support. They don't just need the leads. They actually need you to get involved. And so this is a big problem. So go to the next one. So understanding where they're at, even when they're talking about cats, is the deal. So I have been on this really fun fitness journey and for 2.5 years with my trainer. And one of the things he does is every 4 weeks, he gives me new programming. And then he does this body scan where you have to kind of hold the body scan and it tells me how fat my belly is and if I've gained muscle in my arms or whatever. And what happens when he does the body scan is he's like there was one period, it was 6 weeks and he was doing HIIT. Has anybody done HIIT workouts? It sucks. Like, it's just like, I like lifting heavy things and this is like, you know, do this and then don't take a break and then do this and then don't take a break and then do this. And I was so focused on following the workout that I was doing it bad. So instead of like having my arms perfect, I was like, you know, just like, because I was just trying to finish. So after 6 weeks, he's like, you literally have not made any changes in your body. Your arms are the same, your waist is the same, your legs are the same. I was like, well, screw this. Like, we're not doing this anymore. And we found out as a result of the body scan that because I was just trying to finish because it was so hard for me, I had to do a different style of workout. But it was the body scan that allows him to change the programming. And it's literally the same thing with your agents and their workflows. And that's what Maverick is for their business. It's the body scan. It's, hey, you called 20 people before we started doing this, now you called 100. So now you went from 2 conversations to 10, but as I look at the conversations, you don't have any appointments. So now you're able to go through the scan and say, let's talk about the conversations you're having. Or they had a ton of appointments, a ton of meetings, and after 60 days, there's no contracts. That's a whole nother set of problems. But I'm paying my trainer to analyze the results of the scan and change my programming. That's your job. Maverick does the scanning, but if nobody is doing the alignment and the change of structure, literally, you're wasting money. You should just cancel Maverick. If you're not going to talk to your agents about the scan, this is all like a waste of time. And you can quote me on that, right? Like, it doesn't make sense if you're not going to do the part that is your part. And if you're like most team leaders, hopefully you're not, but when we get a couple of beers in us, we all sit down, yeah, my agents, they're not doing anything, da 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 da. Like, that's not the play here. Like that's not it. We have to actually recognize that literally the reason why we're compensated is we get in, we roll our sleeves up with our agents, and we have these hard conversations. You can go to the next slide. So you can't change behaviors that you can't see. And so this is a twofold thing. On the one side, there's, Maverick brings visibility, but then the other side is allowing your agents to see it. So if you're not using the what is it called? The coaching section where what is it? AI coach? Well, no, not the coach. Agent snapshot. So like during the meetings, have the agent snapshot pulled up. Data and numbers don't lie. I always use data when I'm doing these meetings. If I don't do that, it's very anecdotal. And we ask, how's it going? Oh, it's great. I just had a conversation with so-and-so. Like literally that was the only conversation they had all week, but that's what they bring up to you. The numbers don't lie. And so you don't have to be the bad guy. Be like, I'm so glad you had the conversation. Can we talk about how you're last on the team for outbound prospecting? Like, what's going on? Right? But we don't do that because we're so busy. And honestly, for most of us, we're half full type of people. That's why we were so successful at sales that we started a team. Most team leaders in real estate used to sell real estate on their own. And so we're half full, we're problem solvers. We annoyingly see the best in people. That's why I try not to hire myself, because I see what someone could become. I don't see what they actually are. So I have a layered hiring processes because I'm like, I see it. I see the potential in everybody, everywhere I go. Like I was just sitting with you. What did I just tell you a second ago? I was like, you're unusually smart, right? I saw it. And I don't know, I just literally was talking to you for like 5 minutes. I can't help it. I can see what people can become. Helping them to see how they're failing is an act of compassion for them. Like literally the value proposition of my trainer, if he was every time I saw him, bro, you're crushing it, don't change a thing. Like I wouldn't gain anywhere, right? It's through the pain and the discomfort of always lifting something heavier that muscles are actually developed. You can go to the next slide. So for me, after I bring awareness using the data. So the first month for my team is, I always say the same thing. All right, guys, we're going to do a thing. You're going to get some emails. You're going to see a new tag. I created a new list. For the first 30 days, let's do discovery. Let's see who's doing it and who isn't. So if you're not using nudges right now at scale, you could literally roll nudges out. Hey guys, you're going to get a bunch of stuff on how the leads are out of compliance. It's going to say you're going to risk reassignment. Don't even worry about it. This is just about exposure of where you're at. Let's enjoy it and let's level up. Does anybody have any questions? No, Barry, that sounds great. Cool. So after that, then I go to phase 2, where I actually start to look at the trends within my organization, right? So the second time, it's about specific behaviors. It's not about character. It's just about activity. A lead called you back 5 days ago. What happened, right? That's one that always is like mind-boggling to me consistently. My agents get callbacks, and my agents don't call them back. And it's like, you worked so hard to get that person's attention, you finally got it, and you blew it. So instead of being mad at them, excuse me, after a month, I'm like, hey, John, I'm noticing a trend. I'm using this one because it's the easiest. I'm noticing a trend of people calling you back, and you're not engaging them. What's going on? I mean, I would say at least half of the time, people are like, oh, my notifications weren't set up. Thanks for showing me, Barry, right? So again, first month is just exposure. Second month is me having conversations. So Maverick holds the standard so the relationship doesn't have to. The data is the authority and you're the coach. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So phase 3 is where you start to have honest conversations with your agents, right? So month 1, exposure. Month 2 is data. By the time you get to the 3rd month, you've already had conversations about what issues you see. As you go to the 3rd month, for my team, what I'm able to do is say, hey, we've been doing this for 60 days. We talked about how you weren't calling the leads back. You said it was a notification issue. I'm still seeing you're not calling them back. Now, again, this is the easiest one. We could go over all the others, but for the sake of time, that's the example I'm choosing. And so after persistent non-compliance, 1 direct conversation, you connect their income goal to the gap. No anger, just honesty. John, you told me you needed to make $200,000 a year so you could get dental insurance for your children and pay off your debt. We brought in this new platform to expose things. It was kind of a journey. And now, we talked about it. I'm not seeing a change in behavior. And here's the phrase I love. Can you help me understand why that is? And then I shut up. I let them have a moment of transparency and honesty as to why they are consistently failing themselves, and in this example, their family, from what income they want to get. And this is directly related to atomic habits. That goal setting theory says that it's not just about some obscure goal. It's tying the goal to an emotional aspect of their life where they can realize that all the many moments that they don't want to do their job, they're reminded, they're connecting that moment to their high level goals. And it's my job to remind them of that. One of the things you're going to hear from Eric's team is they have pictures on their desk, right? They have a picture on their desk, and what else do they do? Huh?
A picture of what they're working for. So the goal is keep a picture of what they're working for.
Yeah, and it's not just that. You persistently bring up, and because when we were talking, I was like, dude, we're doing a lot of the same stuff. And if you don't know him, they have 15 agents doing 600 deals. That's 400? Okay, whatever. It's still weird. It's what the heck? That's a lot of houses for 15 people. And so I'm just telling you guys, if you're not connecting the emotional aspect to this conversation where you're trying to get actionable behavior, you're missing out, because the idea is not just to spend time talking to them, it's to realize a real change. And so the next one, thank you, I didn't have to ask. So when I tell the agents, look, when an agent cannot perform, I'm going to take the leads. It's not punishment, it's relief. Most agents on my team, when I get to this point, I'm like, you sound really overwhelmed. I am, Barry. Why do you have 200 leads in your name? Well, what if one of them wants to transact? If you sold 10 people in your list of 200 a home in the next 90 days, what would that do to your income? Oh man, that'd be amazing. Average sales price, $400,000. That would be an additional $40,000. I could pay off my credit card. Okay, why don't we focus on finding the 10 out of your 200? This is a lot of noise for you. Let's get the noise out, right? Let's focus on these. I want to help you make more money. Do you see what's happening? I could have said, if you don't do your job, I'm taking 190 of these leads, I'm only giving you 10. I get them to buy into the fact that they have too much going on and too much noise, and so I strip away the noise as an act of compassion for them to help give them clarity. They walk out of the lead assignment conversation with man, Barry's really looking out for me, right? And so then what happens is I'm not punishing them into this future. I'm helping them grow. Now, most of you are getting Zillow leads. The challenge you have in your organization, the Zillow stages and the Zillow optics is it's all outcome based. Did you answer the call? Did you screw up the call? Did you set an appointment? Did you meet them? What happened? And then after that, it falls into that nurture stage because they weren't ready. And that is the wastebasket of your organization. And so if you want to take your revenue as an organization, you have to help them nail the nurture. And that's where Maverick specifically, I taught all of the Zillow, they keep changing their titles, the people that help you, what are they called now? Growth advisors. I did a call with all 20 of them, teaching them how to help you guys not to close more of your nurture leads, because they all said the same thing. Our teams are crushing it with the inbound phone call, but then if they don't sell a house within 60 days, they go into no man's land, right? And so this is what that whole conversation was about. And so you reduce the friction, go back one more real quick, reduce the friction on the behavior you want, remove the behavior creating noise. And so so this is not just a tracking tool. This is an income partner. Maverick is an income partner. Howard, what is it we say about Maverick again? What is it called? I always forget. Oh, income accelerator?
Revenue accelerator.
Oh, that's what it is. Right? No, I'm just kidding. He's always beating me like, Barry, it's revenue accelerator, revenue Love you, Howard. All right, so it's an income partner. So you lead with oversight. Agents feel managed, resistance hardens, and adoption stalls, and you lose, right? But if you lead with income, agents lean in, they see the tool as their ally, adoption accelerates. Johnny, you're not answering your calls. Let's talk about why you're not answering inbound phone calls. Oh, you don't see the phone ring. Can you promise me that twice a day you're going to go into Follow-Up Boss and look at your missed calls? In a week, I'm going to check on you and ask you, are you doing the thing that we discussed? Is that fair? Do I have your permission to hold you accountable to this? Yes, Barry, thank you. A week goes by. Johnny's going to be like, Barry, I got one of those calls back. I used the script that you told me. Yeah, I missed a call. I want to make sure I'm taking care of you. They said they want me to come over to list a home. Oh my gosh, right? And then, just so you know, this is a pro tip. When somebody does something that you wanted them to do on your team, they followed the process and they did the coaching, you know what you do? You interview the hell out of them in front of your team. Hey, Johnny, you just got a new listing. How'd you get that listing? Barry, I did what you said, and twice a day. And so then suddenly all the agents are like, hey, Barry, can I set up a meeting with you? I want to talk. And what happens is there's a shift. You go from the angry sales manager to an income partner in your organization. And the best part about Maverick is they're going to think you spent a lot of time working on this. But the truth of the matter is you literally logged into the dashboard and looked at the stuff. I go into my sales meetings now dialed in with that data. I'm like, Mary, you're only asking 30% of the time to meet. We need to fix that. John, you're not answering your calls. We need to, like, hey, Michael, you've got 65 leads that are out of compliance. What's going on right now, right? Like, they're like, dang, Barry's really, the truth is I spent 20 minutes. Like, I don't have time to go through I used to go into Follow-Up Boss and like have like this nervous energy. What'd we miss? What's going on? And now I go into Follow-Up Boss and I'm like, I don't really know why am I even here right now? Like because I don't need it because I'm using the tracking tool of Maverick to point out the issues. So this helps you close more deals, not to just monitor you. Top agents are doing this. You could say, I was just in a room with a team that sells 2,000 homes. They're crushing it across the country. Here's what they're doing. I'm going to roll out this new process. Because in real estate, we don't have a lack of good ideas. You know what we have a lack of? Execution. That's exactly right. And so when I go to a conference like this, I look for 2 to 3 nuggets that I can execute on immediately. If I don't get 2 to 3 nuggets I can execute on immediately, for me, that was a failed conference. Well, you've already got some today, and the conference technically hasn't even started. This is just a mastermind. So if this gets you one more deal, does anything else matter, right? This just happened. Last week, I had an agent. He's been an agent for 25 years. He's 70. He read my book. He's in my market. He called me, and he said, Barry, I'd like to join your team. And I said, okay, I'm sorry, what's your name? and so we started talking. And so a month in, right, he wants to do this. He wants to level up. He's ready for a new career move. 30 days in, like, he didn't do anything. Like, he was calling like 5 people a week. And so I leveraged the tools in Maverick. I leveraged the accountability. And each week I was like, hey, so yeah, like, what's going on? And each time I asked the question, he would have another, in my opinion, dumb reason that he's not following up with leads. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with my agents and I said, hey guys, I want you to know that I'm about to drop this into 5th gear. So remember, this is a new team. I started it in January, okay? And I said, I'm about to drop this into 5th gear. I would love for you all to get in the car with me. We're about to sell a lot of homes. I'm about to increase my budget on leads. I'm about to do some really cool stuff. If you're not working, I can't take you with me. If all of you on this call right now, like, I'd literally go out and have a beer with you. I like all of you personally. But if you're not willing to do the work, I can't take you with me. And if none of you are willing to do the work, I'm literally on the table right now. I'm considering just hiring a few agents, W-2. They're just going to do the production in my name, and I'll keep all the money. I'm forecasting right now where I'm going so that you don't get mad at me. And I've watched in my career, I have a buffet of opportunity, and I watch the same agents walk up to the same buffet, and some walk away hungry and some don't. And I want you guys to come with me. Mitch came and met with me last week. Last week was his hardest working, best producing, outbound base dialing he had ever done in his career. 27 years in the business. He set 10 appointments that week. He's got 3 listing appointments and 3 buyers in 1 week of prospecting these freaking Ylopo leads. And now he's suddenly like, thank you. He said, I knew your heart and I needed that kick. I needed it. And so this morning, the notification went out and 4 new agents had hit our minimum standard to get live transfers. So we have a minimum KPI where if you're not doing certain things, you don't get any of the live transfers from Ylopo. And suddenly a third of our organization, they suddenly kicked into gear. And it was all by slow playing the management, using the tools available to me and rolling it out. And I think that's it. Yeah, so just have the hard convo. In 90 days, your team is either compounding or coasting. And so you can do this now.